Hi everyone, delonewolf here. Welcome back to the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about my last week in games. And I have to be honest, last week was pretty low energy. The reason for that is that I got a nasty little bug that was trying to give me a pretty nasty cold, I think. So I had problems with my throat and with my nose, but I do tend to be able to fight that off. The way I do this is I sleep a lot, 2 hours extra every night then, and that way I don't actually get sick. So all I have is some throat problems, some low energy. I do get tired very quickly just from my regular job. And after that, of course, I have to go to sleep much earlier, which means that I got to play a little bit less EVE Online than average. I still managed to do the blueprint copy stuff, the PI stuff, all of the general EVE Online things that I try to maintain every single day. Next to that, a little bit of mining, because that's relaxed enough so that I don't need to be all too energetic when it comes to mining in EVE Online. And of course my consolidation plans. So I've been building up the blueprint copies needed for a first Orca. I think I'm making the last one right now. And I've been taking some trips with goods that I have all over the universe and bringing them mostly to Jita in order to lower the number of slots that I have stuff in. Most of it I don't even remember what it is exactly, and I'm planning to actually sell a decent amount of that as well to get that into a liquid ISK for a future project. But other than that, yeah, I've basically been making plans and resting a lot when it comes to playing EVE Online. Next up, we have a little bit of Stellaris. I didn't play all that much despite having just bought the expansion. Exactly the same reason, of course. I wasn't feeling 100% and I basically needed extra time sleeping so that I didn't make things worse, which meant that I started a couple of games exploring the Hive Mind gameplay. So far, I do enjoy it, and I'm definitely planning on getting a serious game going and probably also getting a co-op game with my brother going. And my first findings are that it's really awesome that you don't have to look at happiness anymore. So your little guys, your drones are going to keep working, doing their best no matter what happens. One thing my brother said, that you basically don't need to worry about longevity anymore because your scientists can somehow keep their experience. That didn't work out, so I took a fleeting civilization first, and those guys just were dying at level 3 and resetting. So that was a constant need to hire new leaders and all of that stuff. So I don't like that. I think I'll just keep going with Venerable so that I don't have to waste time and resources on my leaders, my scientists and all of that stuff. But the Hive Mind, one aspect that I had happen that I think is really cool is I could colonize a planet with pre-civilization creatures on there, and they would just systematically eradicate those guys. It's one thing that I don't like to do, is having to manage different races, then their different happinesses, all of their different attributes and stuff like that. And so the Hive Mind is perfect for that, because they're just gonna start eradicating their local wildlife, and the Hive Mind will reign supreme on all the planets that you land on, which I think for me is really cool and very handy. Other than that, there is one thing that you have to know, is that you start with 3 core planets. You can take one attribute to bring that up to the standard 5, but you can also very early on with the new Unity system, I think it's called, you can increase the main sector size to 10, and so there is no need to worry too much about your expansion early game. You can very easily get a very big amount of core systems. Now I never really got to that point. I'm waiting for like a good start and then a plan to go for further things after that, but that's just something that I got to that point. Oh, I can actually just unlock 1 full tile of Unity and then take extra 5 sectors for your core sectors. 5 planets or systems for your core sectors, which is really awesome and I think very powerful. for your early expansion plans, basically to get you going and to probably give you that head start on most of the NPCs that you're fighting with. So the game is really interesting. I do look forward to playing more of that, giving it a serious go, and of course exploring those superstructures as well that you can make now, exploring the colonies outside of planets that you can normally inhabit and things like that. Sounds very interesting, and of course my playstyle, it's all about the hive mind, so hopefully we can get that to work. And finally we have Banished, my go-to game when I need to relax a little bit, when I need to gather up some energy. That is when I play a little bit more Banished. As you may know, I've started a pretty interesting concept for the town here that is centered around having markets and then very compact housing centers around that. So far it's going really well, but one thing that I've been noticing now is that because I tend to build like an entire center in one go, at least 12 houses around the market, and then expand that with another 12 when I feel like all the resources like food, like clothes, like tools are in balance with the new population. I add another 12 immediately. I do get these big demographic booms and busts, which is really weird. So I sometimes have my population drop by 40-50 in almost no time, because I've not made a next center of living space for more citizens to grow into. So that is something that I'll have to manage as well. At the moment I'm definitely in a pretty big demographic winter, because I went from extra workers at like 170 to like 120 right now. It's really weird, but that's all part of the very interesting game that is Banished. Of course, it's not always that easy trying a new concept, and if something is out of balance at some point, the game is gonna hit you pretty hard, and you could actually end up at risk of losing everything. And that demographic winter is definitely a part of that, the demographics of your town as you build more houses, or do you need a constant rate of houses to keep a constant rate of growth? That's another possibility, but for this playthrough right here, I'm definitely putting up large chunks of extra housing in very short amounts of time. And then I do see that I have these booms where I'm really at risk of not having enough food for my citizens. And after that, you do get that bust when most of those new citizens become 60-70 years old and start to die off, and then you do have a pretty sharp drop in your population again. So it makes this playthrough of Banished pretty interesting. I have to do a little bit more to balance out all of the other resources around my population that grows not at such a steady rate, which was very easy to do in the 12x13 pattern, but in a more unpredictable way. Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's definitely a lot of fun, but most importantly for me right now, it's very relaxed to play some Banished. And that was basically my week. Not a lot to report when you were a little bit sick. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time.